administration of the income tax relies heavily on the availability of the taxpayer information and a contingent source which prudently should not be treated as an alternative to what is anticipated as diminished pay as you earn base, and at the same time a source to meet the growth in the growing revenue projections. When you look at the growth in the expenditure for the last 5 years, Kenya's budget has increased from 2 trillion in 2015-2016 to 2.26 trillion in the 2016-2017 financial year. The growth in the national budget requires a focused assessment for realism and the ability of the country to raise the commensurate revenue to fund the budget, and most importantly, the country's ability to generate economic activity that will inspire economic growth. An assessment of the expenditure priorities contained in the 2016-2017 budget estimates has attracted several questions surrounding the expenditure plan for the country. The 2016 budget statement emphasizes the delivery of projects and programs contained in the Jubilee Manifesto. While recognizing that the delivery of election promises is a key determinant of the legitimacy of the government, it is critical that this is carefully moderated in order to manage the growth and expenditure. The growth in expenditure should be evaluated against absorption capacity for capital expenditure. Our fiscal responsibility dictates that the debt is utilized to finance development expenditure. Due to the numerous number of projects undertaken by the government to deliver on the various pillars of the Vision 2030, and as well as the Jubilee Manifesto, Kenya's debt has significantly risen over the past 5 years. The public debt at the moment is standing at 2.9 trillion Kenya shillings, and this is comprised of 1.55 trillion as foreign debt and 1.39 trillion as domestic debts. Domestic debts basically comprises of the money the government borrows from the local market. The following are our recommendations as ICPAK. Number one, there is need to adhere to Article 206 of the Constitution of Kenya and provisions of the Public Finance Management Act 2012 in the management of public resources. This includes but not limited to the following. Number one, over the medium term, the national government's borrowing shall be only used for the purpose of financing development expenditure and not recurrent expenditure, because you cannot borrow to finance a payment of salaries. Number two, the public debts and obligations shall be maintained at a sustainable level as approved by Parliament, both national government and for the county assemblies. The second recommendation, which is broad, is adopting the implementation of the IMF World Bank Public Debt Management Guidelines, which proposes to strengthen the quality of countries' public debt management and reduce their vulnerability to domestic and external shocks. We picked up a few of the following proposals from IMF World Bank public debt management principles and guidelines. Number one, focus on transparency and accountability in public debts management information. Number two, debt management should be anchored in sound macroeconomic and financial sector policies to ensure that the level and the rate of growth in the public debt are sustainable.